Hello, I'm Wendy Nelson, and in this video, I'm going to talk about another syllable type. This one is known as the vowel-consonant-e syllable, sometimes called the VE syllable. And just like with the open syllables, if you haven't watched the closed syllable video yet, you should go back and watch that one first, because I'm going to be comparing closed syllables and VE syllables in this video. So you'll need to have some familiarity with those closed syllables in order to understand what I'm talking about with these VE syllables. So go ahead and go back and watch that one if you haven't already. And if you have, if you're all caught up with that, then great. Let's go ahead and jump into VE, vowel-consonant-e syllables. So the main difference between this syllable type and the closed syllable type is that we're going to add an E onto the end of the syllable. And as you may know, the letter E in English is kind of a helper vowel in a lot of ways. Very, very often we will see an E at the end of a syllable, and that E is not representing any sound in that syllable. It's a silent E, but it has a job to do. There is a reason that that E is there. We don't just randomly put E's into words for no reason. Anytime there's a silent letter in a word, it's either historical or it has a job to do. And that's usually the case when we're dealing with the vowel E. So what we're going to be doing today is looking at some closed syllables and then changing them by putting a silent E on the end of those syllables, and we're going to see how that changes our vowel sound. So remember, these vowels here have two different sounds. The picture sound, that a, I, and then their name, A, E, I, O, U. And that U can also sometimes sound like oo when it's making its long sound. So I don't want to get too far ahead. Let's go ahead and take a look at our words that we're going to be dealing with today. Let me get those up on the screen here. And so we're starting here with, as you should know, a closed syllable. So how do we know this is closed? It has one vowel and it has a consonant after that vowel that closes it off. And remember what happens with that consonant closing off the vowel then represents the short sound a. So this word is going to be g, ap, gap. Okay, so this is a closed syllable. We're now going to put an E on the end of this syllable to turn it into a vowel consonant E syllable. And that's a very logical name. We have a vowel, then we have a consonant, then we have an E. Look at that. So this E here is on the end. It is silent. It does not represent any sound. The reason it's here is because it's going to basically jump over the consonant and say to this other vowel here, hey, what's your name? And it's going to make this vowel say its long sound. The sound that it represents is A. So what we get here, remember, this one was gap. When we put the E on here, this A turns into an A sound, so we get g, ape, gape. That E doesn't make a sound, it is completely silent, but it affects the vowel sound. All right, let's do that again. So here we have a closed syllable. One vowel, consonant after the vowel. So this vowel is going to represent I. Slid, slid. Okay, we're going to put an E on the end of this. We're going to turn this closed syllable into a vowel consonant E syllable. E jumps over to the vowel here, says, what's your name? My name is I. Slide, slide. VE syllable, long vowel sound. Here we have a closed syllable with our O. If it's closed, that O represents aw, ought, not. We put the E on the end. Here we have a vowel consonant E, VE syllable. This vowel becomes O, oat, note. Here it is with a U. Okay, closed syllable because there's a consonant after that single vowel. So our vowel sound is k, t, cut. We put the E on the end. Now this vowel becomes either oo or u. And this one sometimes is tricky. You might need to try both. Cute, cute. So that's a U sound. Sometimes the U will sound like oo instead. If you're not sure, just try them both. Yeah, if we tried this with oo, oot, coot, well, that's not a word. Cute, cute. Yes, that makes sense. All right, closed syllable. The consonant makes this vowel short. It's an aw, op, hop. Put the E on the end. Our vowel now makes its long sound, ope, hope. So that's the difference between a closed syllable and a VE or vowel consonant E syllable. So I hope this was helpful. If you are looking for a structured way to help your struggling reader, to help the struggling reader in your life, your struggling reader, I hope that you will check out my online course, Introduction to Reading. There is a link below this video, and there's also a link in the posts on my YouTube channel. So until next time, happy reading!